Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building. As you can tell, my voice is back. If you did not listen to last week's episode, I lost my voice, but I still pushed through. I still got an episode out for you guys, and I'm so happy that I'm feeling better. I can talk normal, and you guys do not have to go through another episode of me with the scratchy voice. But today, we're going to be talking all about how to stop chasing approval and start being yourself. Why you don't need to be for everyone, and why thinking differently can sometimes help you live differently. One of the most freeing realizations that you can have in life, and that I've personally had, is understanding that you are not meant for everyone. And this means you don't need to be liked by everyone. You don't need to be everybody's friend. And not everyone is sometimes they're not going to understand you or your personality or your ideas or your vision, even the way that you move through the world. And this doesn't mean that you suddenly have to look at this like, oh, maybe this is the bad thing, or maybe this is a flaw that I have. You should be looking at this like it is literally a superpower, because it basically is. So many people spend years, myself included, trying to mold themselves into something or someone that feels acceptable to be with the people it is that are around them. And like I said, I used to be this exact way my entire life, where I felt like I could never really be myself, and I always felt like I had to pretend to be someone else. I had to like this artist, or I had to be this certain way, or I had to be really shy and quiet and let people speak over me and all these different things. And I feel like a lot of people, even to this day, sometimes still feel that way, where they have to maybe soften their opinions or hide their ambitions or even tone down their personalities just to fit in. But in my opinion, and maybe you guys will agree with me as well, I feel like the most interesting and the most impactful and the most successful people are the ones who literally stopped trying to blend in and they just did their own thing. So in today's episode, I want to dive in and talk even more about why you don't need to be liked by everyone, why thinking differently is your superpower, and how embracing your uniqueness and your individuality will actually attract the right people that are meant to be in your life, the right opportunities, and the right environment. So let's get started. First, we're going to get into our weekly Booked, Busy, and Building check-in. So these are 3 things to ask yourself. You know that we're covering this now in the beginning of every episode. You could answer these yourself now or wait until the end of the episode. So number 1, what opportunities are you stepping into this week, and how are you staying booked? What is taking up your time and energy right now, and what is keeping you busy? And number 3, what are you intentionally working towards for your future self and building? So for number 1, the opportunities that I'm stepping into, this week is actually going to be a little bit of a continuation of last week, because like I said, last week I was sick. You guys heard it in my voice. Someone commented rest your voice, queen. And I was like, you know what? Thank you guys, because I was so sick and so down bad, but I'm good now. So in last week's episode, I mentioned how I wanted to work out more. I get my gym routine back in action. I will say I did go to the gym twice, just on the treadmill. I went super early and I just walked for an hour, listened to some YouTube videos and podcasts, and I was just really in my own world. Because the only thing is I had lost my voice, but I wasn't physically sick. My body was fine. It was literally just my voice. I could not talk. I had no voice. So because I've been resting and taking antibiotics and just getting my voice finally back and drinking so much tea every single day, I feel like this week now I can finally lock in and actually go to the gym. So my plan tomorrow is to actually go to the gym, wake up early, have a really good productive morning, and just get my week back in on that, because that was supposed to be the plan. And then life took an unexpected little turn. So now we are going to be bouncing back into that. Something taking up my time and energy right now, or keeping me busy, is learning how to make everything in my life coexist. I don't know if you guys will agree with this, but my sister and I had a conversation about this last week, about how sometimes balance can feel like it's almost like a myth, and it's so hard, because how am I supposed to wake up early and sleep early and eat good and work out and read and make time for my friends and family, my relationship, myself, and journal and do social media, work on my business and go to events, etc.? It truly is so much all of the time. And I'm like, how can I do all of this and not be exhausted? Like, how do people genuinely do this? Because I'm 23 and I have so much going on. I feel like all of the time. I know there's so many, everyone has like their own thing going on in their life. So I'm not going to be like, oh my God, my life is so hard. But everybody has their own things in life. And I feel like I'm just learning that everything can coexist, but sometimes there has to be a little bit of a sacrifice and kind of like a payoff. So for example, like I can live my dream life and be the girl it is that I want to be the hardworking girl boss and do everything it is that I want, but understand that not every day is going to be the same. And I feel like that's where I struggle, is where I feel like so guilty if one day I have all of my ducks in a row and I wake up early and I go to sleep early and I read and I journal and I do my work and I join my meetings and like I do everything on time. I cook dinner right. And like when I have those days and then the following day it doesn't go as planned, I make myself feel so guilty because I'm like, girl, like you had a perfect day yesterday. Why did you mess up today? But it's like, there is going to be days where not everything goes according to plan. Like if there is one day where I get all of my work done on my to-do list and maybe I had to stay up a little bit late, I am not going to wake up early the next day. I'm going to sleep in a little bit because I'm exhausted and I'm tired. And if there is a night where I have to stop my work halfway because I want to go to sleep early and I want to go to the gym the next day and get a workout in, like I am not going to make myself feel bad for not having like the perfect day in my head, because there is not going to be a perfect day every single day. But like, as long as the effort is there, I feel like that is really what matters. So I'm just learning like things can coexist, but there has to be a sacrifice. Like I can be everything it is that I want to be, but I also have to learn life is life. I'm not going to be able to have the same routine every single day, but the effort is there and I'm trying. So if you guys relate, let me know if that made sense. I feel like that was a lot of just rambling, but like that was literally the conversation I had with my sister. And lastly, something I'm intentionally working towards is getting back into my consistent reading routine. So I love to read. My bookshelf, I'm literally looking at it right now. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm obsessed with books and my Kindle and reading. Like I just love it, and it's truly an outlet for me. I can read probably maybe like 40-ish books a year. My goal is 50. I don't know if I've ever surpassed that. I think maybe like 3 years ago I was at like 55 books. I don't know, but I love to read, and I have really been slacking over the last few months, which is not good, but we're still in March, so I feel like I can still hit my yearly reading goal. But I feel like I have not read a really good book in a very long time, because I'm just kind of like picking up any book I can that can get my attention, and then I'm like, well, this feels like it wasn't really worth my time, and then I stop reading for a few weeks, and I'm like, I just want to get back into that consistent routine where I'm reading multiple books a month and I actually feel like what I'm reading has substance and it's good, and I'm like, wow, like that was a memorable book. I want to recommend this to people. And even if the books that I read are not that good and I don't really like it that much, that's still fine. Like I just want to get back into finding new authors and finding new writing styles that I love, because I already have my favorite authors, but I want to discover new people. I want to find new things and see what books are coming out this spring and this summer, and really get back into my consistent reading routine, waking up early in the morning and maybe reading a little bit during breakfast instead of being on my phone, popping an audiobook, like putting an AirPod in and just listening to an audiobook while I'm doing work. Like just getting back into that consistently is something I really, really want to do. So those are all of the things that are part of my weekly Booked, Busy, and Building check-in. So let's get into the actual episode now. Number 1 is stop trying to be universally liked. This basically means trying to be liked by everybody is basically going to water you down. Like it is not going to end up being who you truly are when you are constantly filtering yourself to meet everybody's expectations. Like you are losing your true self, your true personality, your uniqueness, what makes you you. You're losing your authenticity. And I feel like that, not even like if I feel like that is the thing that makes people connect towards you. Like the friends that you have right now, the people that are in your life right now, like they are all here for a reason, because you are yourself and you are you. And maybe you feel like the people in your life right now are not reflective of that. Then that I think is the sign. Maybe number 1, you needed this episode, and I highly recommend you keep listening to it. But I am someone that I noticed, like, when I was kind of outgrowing the people in my environment, I was like, well, I should be grateful that these people are in my life because they accept me for me. But I'm like, am I really being myself? Like, am I really being who it is that I am? Am I being the real Pamela? So the goal in life should not be like, I want to be everybody's friend. I want to be like universally approved. It should be like, are you showing up as yourself every single day so that the right people are going to resonate with you and your energy and your ideas and your personality? Like, that is how you find your tribe, your group, your people, because you're literally being yourself. And that comes with accepting that not everybody is going to understand you, and that's not a bad thing. Like, growing up, I used to realize, or I used to think that if I was not thinking the same things as other people, if I didn't have the same opinions on this stuff, like if in middle school I liked this specific song from this artist and somebody was like, no, like this is their best song, I'll be like, oh my God, no, you're right. Like, doing everything I can to agree with that person because I didn't want to be different. I wanted to be like, yeah, you're right. And a lot of it came from confidence issues. Like, I was not the most confident girl at all. And it didn't really start, like, that era of my life where I didn't really start caring about what people thought didn't happen until after high school. So after 18 and 19 years old, when I finally got into college, and I feel like even more towards the end of college, I really, really tapped into that. Like, I am who I am and I'm living my life. And if people don't really get it, then that is perfectly fine because I know what it is that I want to do. I've always had very big dreams and goals and ambitions, and I've never felt like I could tell people about those things because it always felt very like funny or very outlandish. Like, you think you're a girl from a small town in New Jersey that's going to make it happen, but it's like, that's what I've been doing. And now the same people that I was always like, oh, they're going to judge me, are the ones coming to my DMs like, girl, like, how did you do this? How did you do that? You're living my dream life. And it's like, what if I never stepped into that version of myself? I would not be living my dream life right now. So really important, like, that whole thing to say as well, like, when you stop shrinking yourself for other people and for other people's comfort, you just become so much happier because, like, you're finally being yourself. Like, people make themselves smaller so other people don't feel uncomfortable. I used to do that so much. Like, I can just remember that feeling where you just feel so small in the room and you're like, I'm going to let everybody else like overpower me and talk over me, or I'm just going to agree with everyone else's opinions because I don't want to be the person that's different or thinking differently, or I don't want them to make me explain myself. Like, I just think it would be easier if I just went along with what everyone else wanted. So the more you hide your personality, the more you hide your ambition, you're genuinely just disconnecting more from yourself and who you truly are. But that authenticity, like, that makes you you, that is what is going to attract the right people. So when you show up as your full self, when you show up as who you truly are, and you are you in every room and in every situation, that is how you're going to find the people that truly align with you. And that's how they're going to gravitate towards you, is when you are yourself. And it's going to feel really weird and different the first few times. Like, I remember when I felt like I could finally be myself around the friend group that I'm around right now. It felt so good because I was like, wait, like, we're all kind of like each other. And then the more we all get comfortable with each other, the more that we just have even more fun because we're just being ourselves. Like, we're not worried. We can laugh the way we want. We can yell. We can scream. Like, we can do whatever it is that we want because we're being ourselves. And I feel like when you finally find those people, it's such a nice, freeing feeling of like, wow, I can finally put my shoulders down, breathe, and not be afraid, or go home after this situation and like completely overthink the whole night. Wish that I didn't say this. I wish that I didn't say that. Like, I have had so many of those nights, and I promise you, when you are around the right people, you are going to go home not regretting anything, and you're genuinely just going to be so happy that you were you. Number 2 is thinking differently is a competitive advantage. The people who have changed the world or change industries, build unique brands, or create new opportunities, whether it's for themselves or for the world, are the ones that have rarely ever followed the crowd. If you think of Steve Jobs when he was creating Apple, in his mind, and if you listen to interviews or read things about him, like, he was so like, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to create this. I'm going to create that. And it's like that mindset and that attitude is what got him to still being like, to building one of the most iconic companies in the entire world that is still running to this day successfully. Same thing with the Nike. The founder is Phil Knight. I started reading his book, Shoe Dog, a few months ago, and unfortunately I still haven't finished it. But I remember in the beginning, when I was reading it, he was talking about going to Japan and meeting with manufacturers and trying to create this shoe that, again, had also never been seen before. And it's like, all of these people that have these ideas and these things, like, they are not following the crowd. They're not doing what everybody else is doing. And that's how they got to where they are today. And I'm not saying that you need to be somebody that goes out there and creates this billion-dollar company and you change the world. Like, if you want to do that, that is incredible and amazing. Keep doing you. You're going to get to where you want to be. But for the people that you just want to be yourself and like you think a little bit differently and you know like you're unique and whatever, like that, like there is nothing wrong with that, because again, like that is your competitive advantage. You don't need to be doing something that is going to go out there and change the world. But the people that are living these lives and creating these new opportunities for themselves, like these everyday people, like they are thinking differently. They're questioning norms. They aren't afraid to approach things from a different angle. And even when following the crowd might feel safe, think like, what if you did things the way you wanted to do it? What if you tried something else? Like, what really could happen? Especially when you're at an age and in an era in your life where you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Like, I always remind my siblings of that, because I'm the oldest sister. I have a younger sister and a younger brother. And we literally had this conversation this week in the living room. I told them, like, you guys are so young. You are still living with our mom, and you should not use that as like, okay, I'm very comfortable, I'm going to kick my feet back and like let our mom do everything. But use that as kind of like a safety net of like, I can fail and it's okay. Like, I can try new things and it's okay, because I can just get back up and try something new. And it doesn't mean you're going to go out and take advantage and like try everything and like waste your money or whatever. Like, I don't mean it like that, but I mean like, you guys have everything to gain and nothing to lose, because you can try and get back up and keep going and try and get back up. Like, truly the world is your oyster. And I just want them to remember that. Like, if something doesn't work out, it's okay. You can try again. And even though I'm not living at home anymore and I live on my own, I still have that mindset of like, the world is my oyster. If I want to try something new tomorrow, I will. If I want to try something new the day after that, like I will. I just got into skiing a few weeks ago and now I'm obsessed with it. And it's like, now I like to ski. So like, there are so many things that we can do and try and experience in this world. It's just about giving yourself the chance to do that. So just because things are commonly done this way doesn't mean it's always the best way. Like, when I was getting into social media, there was no one in my hometown that was really doing it, and I felt like I was kind of the first one to step into it. And when I got invited to my first influencer event and got my first PR package and started doing all of these things, like that is when it truly started to feel so real for me. And I was like, oh my god, my hard work is actually paying off. And it was scary to also go to a fashion college, to go to the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York. I had to learn how to take the train from New Jersey into New York by myself and commute to school, commute back, and be in an environment where nobody else around me was doing that. And I felt like maybe I'm making the wrong decision. I should have just taken a general business degree at a school and just done that like in New Jersey. But I wanted to do something different. And going to FIT brought me so many opportunities that I would have never had if I would have never went and done the thing that isn't really that common where I live. And I know it sounds crazy. It's like, girl, you just went to a different college. Like, you didn't do anything that different. But it's like, when you're in a small town where everyone kind of stays together and does the same thing, doing something like that felt so out of the ordinary. But it's like, it wasn't even that out of the ordinary. I was just doing something different from the crowd. So for you, like, study people that have broken the mold in your industry or in the world, because so many of these innovators and trailblazers and creators, like, they succeed because they are doing things differently, not because they're following a secret formula or they're following things step by step. Like, they are just doing things and they're trying and they're getting back up. And when that one thing finally works, it's like all of the hard work and all the things that they did in the past, like, it's like, wow, like every moment led me to this moment. And it's just so full circle. Like, I think about that so many times, especially with social media, like so many things that I did, even from my childhood to now being an adult, like everything led me to where I am today. So don't be afraid to challenge ideas or challenge the stereotype. Like, you are allowed to question things, and all of that independent thinking, all of those critical thinking skills, like everything, like you are doing something that is on your own path and it's meant for you and it's in your own life. You do not need to be following what everybody else is doing. So the next time you want to try something new, or you want to think differently, or you want to go a little bit outside the box, just know that that decision can lead you to exactly where it is that you need to be, but you'll never know if you don't try. Number 3 is the right environment will find you. I love this tip, because when you stop trying to fit into spaces that either don't fit you or maybe even like don't appreciate you, you get to create rooms or find environments that actually do appreciate you and that are actually where you're meant to be. When I was growing up, like I've been sprinkling throughout this episode, I always felt like I had to be the person that was agreeing with everyone. I had to soften what I thought, hide certain things like ambitions and my real dreams and goals because I needed to just do what everybody else was doing. But when I started to become the woman that I am today, and when I really started to really blend into who I really wanted to be, and like I truly felt like I could be that person without judgment, that is when I feel like opportunities found me and the right people found me and everything that I had ever dreamed of started finding me, like getting invited to events, working with brands, making money from social media, getting connected with people, like all of the things that I had seen growing up on YouTube or on social media slowly started happening to me, but it was because I genuinely stopped trying to fit in, and that is when opportunities and the rooms that I wanted to be in actually started to come into my life. So remembering that like not every room is meant for you is a good thing. Some environments just simply are not aligned with your goals and your mindset and your energy and who you are. Even the people within that room, like sometimes we get to where we want to be and then we're like, this is all that it was caught up to be. Like, this is really what everyone was talking about that it was. It's not even all that. So you can remember like, there's communities and there's friendships and relationships and audiences and people and networks and jobs. Like there are all of those kinds of things that are going to understand you and appreciate you. But it's like, it starts with you being your best self, and it starts with you really putting one foot in front of the other to get to that. Because this is the other thing that I feel like not enough people talk about either, is you cannot just kick back and put your feet up and wait for these things to happen to you. Like the right environment or your dream relationship, your dream partner, your dream job, like whatever your dreams are, those things are not going to come by you just relaxing and doing the same things every day. Your dream body is not going to come if you go to the gym once a week and you're still eating junk food throughout the week. If you want to become a reader, you scrolling in bed at night on TikTok or Instagram is not going to help you get closer to finishing that book on your nightstand. You wanting to drink more water, but always choosing for juice or soda instead of water is not going to help you up your water intake. So it's like, you are not going to get to your dream life or get to whatever your goals are by being the same person and doing the same thing every day and essentially doing the opposite of what you should be doing. So when you align yourself with who you want to be and your dream environment or your dream life, that is when things will start to attract to you, and that's when things will start to make a lot more sense. But if you are literally doing the opposite of what is going to get you closer to where you want to be, then obviously the needle is going to move a little bit further. And when you truly, I'm telling you, like when you truly lock in to your dreams or your goals or whatever it is that you want to do or whoever it is that you want to be, when you lock into that, you are going to realize that all of those things are so much closer than you think. Like when I just started out by posting a few videos a week, learning to get comfortable in front of the camera, dressing up a little bit more in my everyday, putting more effort into my life, romanticizing the little things, I realized like, oh my God, like life is the special occasion. Every day is the special occasion. There is no, I'm going to save this dress, I'm going to save these heels for that. Like every day is that special moment. So I'm just going to live every day like that because you never know what could happen. So I really like this tip, like I said, because the right places, the right people, the right environment, it is going to find you, but it really requires you to put in that work, and it starts with being yourself. Do not shy away from who you are. Be your true self every day. Be your truest self, and I promise you, like the things that you want, the things that you dream of, or whatever it is that you desire, it can happen, but it starts with a little bit of work. Before we get into the next tip, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, and that is Valdez Agency. If you're new here, Valdez Agency is the media company that I founded to help ambitious creators, students, and young professionals actually get access to opportunities and real conversations about building something meaningful and going after your dream life. If you're a creator and you want brand deals, education, and a community that wants to see you win, then Valdez Agency is the place for you, and it is absolutely free to sign up and join. To apply and be in our creator community, all you have to do is visit thevaldezagency.com. You can also rate our podcast, Booked, Busy, and Building, after you're done listening, or even right now, if you enjoy the episodes either on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Booked, Busy, and Building Podcast, which posts the full episodes. Make sure you're also signed up for our weekly newsletter, Spill the Success, which has all kinds of resources and new drops towards mindset, career, creator economy, business, and more. And lastly, follow Valdez Agency on Instagram so you never miss anything that is going on, including our book club that is hosted virtually on Fable, where we read books monthly on self-development, mindset, and more, plus our newly launched broadcast channel, which is solely on our Instagram. Reminder again that all of this is free and everything is linked in the show notes, because trust me, we are building something big with Valdez Agency and we would love for you to be a part of it. So let's get back into the episode. Last but not least is confidence comes from owning your uniqueness. Confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room or being the most perfect or having the best routine every single day. You guys know we already talked about this in the Booked, Busy, and Building check-in. It is not about showing up and being your 100% most perfect self every day. It is just about being comfortable with who you are. The more that you accept yourself and your individuality and your personality, your uniqueness, all these different things, it is going to become so much easier to move through life and move through every day without constantly seeking approval. I really felt like I was able to step into my truest self after high school / entering college. And it took me years to finally be like, I can be myself and there is nothing wrong with that. Even though at the end of high school, I kind of made this promise with myself. I was like, okay, girl, you have 4 years now in college. This is your timeline to get your life together. Even though I made that promise to myself in the beginning of college, it wasn't until the end of college that I finally felt like I am becoming who it is that I want to be. And I am proud of who I am. And I'm happy. It took me years to basically undo all the things that I had been thinking essentially my entire childhood and my teenage years. So it's not going to be an overnight journey where one day you just wake up and you're like, I'm confident, I'm the best. It is going to take time. It is going to be a learning journey. You're going to obviously have hard days, have good days. That is life. But owning who you are, that is what is going to allow you to stand firm within yourself and your ideas and your goals and your identity. And when I made that promise to myself, that is what allowed me to finally feel like I know who I am and I am this way, I am that way. I have big dreams, I have big goals, I have all these crazy ideas. I want to be this girl. And when I finally stepped into that and I started showing up as that person every day, that's when everything started to come slowly into fruition. But it also starts with not comparing your path and your life and yourself to other people. That is one thing I will always say about social media, is even though I love content creation and following my favorite creators and working with brands, it can also be really detrimental to your mental health, because you're like, well, this person is making more money than me, or this person is going on this brand trip and they're getting these opportunities. Or at work, you may see this person never gets micromanaged. Why do I? Why is this person getting a raise? This person gets to go on a business trip. I have to stay here. They're working less hours. Why do I have to stay at the office longer? There are so many things in life where we are going to want to compare our timeline and our journey, but it's everybody's timeline and journey is different, and what's meant for them is meant for them. What's meant for you is meant for you. When you compare yourself, you are going to start to lose sight of all of the progress that you have slowly been doing. When I was, again, getting into the whole social media world, I was like, why am I not good in front of the camera? Why can't I edit this video good? Why can't I do this good? And it's girl, you just started. That's number one. Number two, you're on your own journey with social media and with what it is that you are doing. Same thing with you. If there is a new sport that you want to get into or a new hobby, you are not going to be the best in the first 30 minutes. I know us perfectionists want that, but we're not going to be the best. And that is perfectly fine. It's going to take a while. And I feel like that is the journey that is so underrated and overlooked, because that is truly where the magic is. That is the secret formula. So focus on building your own lane instead of comparing it with other people. focus on creating something that reflects you and who you are, instead of trying to jump into somebody else's car and go on the road to their journey, when you got to stay in your own lane and in your own car and go towards where you are meant to go, because that is literally meant for you. So at the end of the day, life, I genuinely feel this, that life becomes so much lighter when you stop trying to be for everybody, when you stop trying to be liked by all these different people, because your ideas, your personality, the way that you are, your way of thinking, that is meant to attract the people that genuinely resonate with you and understand you and will love you. Like, even if they're not in your life right now, they will eventually find you and you will eventually find them. It's only a matter of time. But the moment you stop chasing acceptance for everyone is the moment you find those spaces and you find those opportunities and the communities and the places that actually feel like home. So I want this to just be your last reminder. Like, you do not need to be understood by everybody. You just need to be understood by the right people. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.